Is 2025 the year the sleeping giants Texas A&M finally awake from their slumber and wreak havoc on the SEC? Well, tune in and find out. Episode of the film study with Kirtan. I know me and Kieran haven't posted one of these solo episodes in a while, but we're finally getting back on the train and we're going to crank out as much content as we can for y'all. So let's just get straight into it. Texas A&M has been called the sleeping giant for years now, and with the 2025 season approaching, it really feels like everything is lining up for them. They got a new coaching staff, they are bringing in talent, and they have a favorable SEC schedule that should lead them to success this year. So this could really be the year that they pull it all together and make it to the playoffs. Now, let's break down each part of A&M to understand how they're going to get there. And the first one has to be Mike Elko. So for those of you who don't know, Mike Elko is the head coach of the Texas A&M Aggies, and this last year, 2024, was his freshman year as a coach. Of course, he used to coach at Duke, but this was the first year he was introduced to the SEC, and let's just say he did not shy away from the challenge. In 2024, he created a foundation for his team, where 2025 we're going to see a major click, and in that 2024 season, he took his team to be the third seed in the SEC, beating the likes of Bama, LSU, Ole Miss, and they were actually playing Texas in a very pivotal game, bringing back the rivalry for who would make it to the SEC championship game. So keep that in mind. He brought in a full offseason of install, he developed players, and he's built a culture around these boys to really teach them how to play football and what is the real A&M way under his vision. Now, we've seen a clear shift from Jimbo Fisher's chaotic offense to a much more streamlined, modern, and efficient team identity where they understand what they're doing and it's not just a hectic spread the ball out and throw up crazy passes. It's very methodical and it's really let's focus on our defense and let's focus on gaining yardage, and that's how we're going to win the game. We're going to play old school football. And the big thing is that everybody loves him. I mean, players love him, fans love him because they know that he's bringing in a new culture, a new feel for the sport, and now it's going to almost revitalize all these A&M fans, and it's really going to be a great thing for the years to come. And I think the biggest thing we should talk about is his defensive mindset. Elko is a defensive strategist, and with his aggressive play calls and going forward on fourth down, almost taking Dan Campbell, the Detroit Lions feel, it feels like they're really out there to play football the true old school way of just hard nose, put your head down, and grind. Now, I think it's a quiet confidence that's coming out of the spring and summer workouts as we've been seeing, and I think they're going to carry that into a schedule where they feel like they can dominate. So let's get into the talent that they have. Of course, they have Marcel Reed. He is their returning quarterback. He and Connor Weekman were in a battle last year, and Marcel Reed won the QB spot. And I feel like that's a great thing for them going into the season, knowing that they have a very quarterback who is star-studded and that is actually in charge of the offense and knows that he's going to be the leader. Now, beyond that, they have Ruben Owens. They have a insane defensive line unit with just stacked players. And, of course, they did lose Nick Scorton and top-tier talent to the draft, but they reloaded. And this isn't a rebuild anymore. It's more or less just a reload, if you would take that. Now, let's break down their 2025 season schedule. And, I mean, it kind of favors them in a lot of ways. So looking at it, they start off with teams like UTSA and Utah State, which are really just going to be, I would like to say, a taste of what they're going to display, because we know that they are able to probably take care of business against these teams. But then they have to play Notre Dame. Now, they played Notre Dame last time in Kyle Field, and it didn't go so great. Notre Dame took the win. But now Aggies are given a chance to go all the way up to Notre Dame and go play in the Irish turf and really see what they're capable of. And I think this is going to be a very pivotal game that people should mark their calendars for, because I think this is going to be a early playoff game. This is one of my predictions. Next, they have games like Auburn and Mississippi State, where Auburn, I know, is building a really good team, and they're going to be a top tier quality team in the future years. But I think as of right now, they're still able to be defeated, and they're still pretty susceptible to a certified galvanized team. So I would expect a win against Auburn. Same goes for Mississippi State. I just don't see them having the talent to go blow for blow with A&M. But then after that, on October 11th, is Florida. Now, I don't know how this game is going to go. I think Florida was given one of the hardest schedules of all time last year, but that really strengthened them as a team. And I think DJ Lagway, I think he is just a phenomenal quarterback who might be a Heisman shout. And so I really don't know how that game is going to go, but I think that's going to be another great test for the Aggies. Following that, they have Arkansas and LSU. LSU, they're playing in Death Valley, so expect there to be, again, fireworks there, but we know Texas A&M is capable of winning. They won it last year. Then they go to Missouri and South Carolina. Again, South Carolina does have Lenore Sellers, while Missouri did lose a lot of good talent to the draft. And then lastly, they'll wrap it up with Sanford and, of course, the Battle of Texas. You got Texas A&M versus Texas, which is always going to be a very, very, very highly anticipated game. And this time it's going to be actually here in Austin. So you can look forward to that. But I think there's going to be major implications like last year because just taking a look at the schedule, I only see losses to maybe a Notre Dame, a loss to Florida, and a loss to LSU. I think they can take care of business against South Carolina, even though they weren't able to last season. But I think they'll definitely be able to now, and because they understand what's going to happen. So they have some key games where they're home for Auburn, they're home for Mississippi State, and they may have and they're home for South Carolina, of course. But again, they are going to have to face the away games of Texas, LSU, and teams like Notre Dame. So again, keep that in mind. It might not be all sunshine and rainbows for their schedule. It might not be a cakewalk, but I think they're definitely going to be able to battle through it. And I think 2025 is the window because it's not just talent, it's the timing. You have players that are now from the 2022-2023 top recruiting class that we saw. Again, a lot of them left, but they're veterans now. They've been born into the system. They've been bred in the system, and they're ready to dominate. And again, Texas A&M has that NIL money, and we know how dominant that is. And a NIL plus the portal access, I mean, that's a short window for success. So if you wait too long, it's gone. So you have to really capitalize on where you are. And lastly, I think we have to look at Texas joining the SEC. I know this is the second year Texas will be in the SEC, but think of it this way. I think it's just another added, how would I best word this? Another added emphasis for A&M to win. They have an extra axe to grind because you always want to beat your rivals, and what's better than beating Texas after they just beat you? So if they don't rise in 2025, the program may be in risk of fading in the SEC background noise, but if they can capitalize here in 2025, they may be dominant for years to go. So I'll leave you with this. Texas A&M has everything they need to make a run. They have elite talent. They have an upgraded coach. They have a crazy fan base that will do anything on a drop of a dime for that team. So the only question is, will they actually do it? Drop your comments down below and drop your 2025 prediction in the comments. Let me know everything and tell me, are they a contender or are they a pretender? Anyways, that's all I have for today. This has been my return episode for the film study, and K-Max will be up next.